Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another episode of Scrap Mechanic. This is what we were working on last episode. This is the scissor lift, and this episode we are going to be working on some of the detailing on the front of the cab, and then also you guys said that you wanted to hide kind of the collapsed mechanical part, so I'm going to be doing that as well this episode. Basically I'm just using these vent covers. I believe that's what they were called in here. Yeah, ventilation grids. And they're just a nice kind of wide, straight industrial object that I can throw in here to kind of make a little bit of a screen, or just something to block the underside of the lift from view. Now back here it's going to get a little weird because the ventilation grid is not the proper size to fit in the back, so we're going to have to get a little bit creative. And generally by creative, I mean we are going to just try everything until we find something that works. That's generally what I do. Okay, nothing's working there. Let's try. Pipes will generally work, or I can just use these I-beams. Because really the backside doesn't have to be perfect. Though things are a little off-center back here. So maybe let's put a row of caution blocks around the bottom and around the top, and we'll just put a pipe or something in the middle, just so it's something a little bit different. Where is my pipe? There is my pipe. Work, by the way, it's been freaking crazy. I work in accounting, and so therefore it's month end, and that is never really a fun time to be in the accounting department in any corporation. So a whole lot of deadlines, a whole lot of working overtime here the past couple days. So I haven't had much time to kind of pre-plan episodes or pre-plan any builds. Okay, that looks all right. Let's check our action here. I'm impressed. This thing is holding up so well and not exploding in any way. It's just, oh, we got a little bit of a hiccup there. Where's it hitting? Where are you hitting? I don't know. I think it's hitting in the back here. And so what I'll do is I'll delete these three, like so, and that pipe. And the way I will cover up that area just by doing that. So that works. Let's give it a test. I think it was just hitting that pipe. No, it's still hitting something. No idea. You know, it is a bit of a tight fit, so it just might be that simple fact. So we'll go ahead and fix this stripe. And put it back again. Get this all straightened out. Ready to go. Okay, there. Perfect. That's what I want to see. Now, the cab kind of is going to require a little bit more measuring and getting a little bit right. As you can see, one, we don't have a floor. A little weird. This side does have a floor because it's part of the steering wheel anyways. But we need to kind of establish the windshield and things like that in the engine first. So I am going to try and... I kind of wish that fit. That would have been pretty perfect right there. The best thing I've found, by the way, is to just kind of try different blocks from different types, make sure they work, and keep just doing that over and over. So, you know, these ventilation grids, very useful for a lot of things. You know, I could use a wooden crate technically if I want a brown color. The air conditioners are pretty good, like how we use them in the back here. Piping is good, kind of, for the engine bays. Let's maybe try and give it a little bit of a grill. Okay, so we'll do that and crouch down. That looks okay. And then we need to, actually, let's try and flip it on its side. Alright, that ain't too bad. Clamp it onto the hood. Now I do try and design my vehicles to be driven in first-person view, so this is a little bit of a design challenge at this point. We need to come up with how high we want the front cab to be. And for rough measurements, the best thing is probably just throwing down some blocks. And then you replace them with the other detailed versions here later. I think this will be a good height. Whoa, too high. Too high. Alright, and I could... Nope! Oh, okay. That's gonna happen. That'll happen from time to time. The way I build is, you know, trying to take away areas and add on to others, and things like that is just pretty much bound to happen. So let's try and fix this. So I need, I think, this block. And I can actually show you guys kind of what we were planning. I was planning to build up the front windscreen, do a little angle, and then flat on the top here. It's just I didn't realize the axle was still being held onto it right there. Now we must commence repairs. I believe it's 2, right? 2, and then the bend. Is it going out? Nope, it's going in. In. And then down. Alright. Add our bearing. Then I need a block, because you can't put the spring straight onto a bearing, which is something I think they should add. That'd be pretty nice if we could. Okay, the 45-degree angled orange block here. Alright, and we got our wheel back on how we want it. Now we just need to wire it up so things work. See, this engine needs to go here. Alright, alright. Perfect. And let's just test, make sure things are not set up incorrectly like they are. Flip that bearing around. There we go. Things are back to normal. It can move again. We're already like 10 minutes in. My goodness. See, this is a time-consuming part of building in general. It's a lot of trial and error for me. So don't go thinking that, you know, 5 minutes will give you something amazing looking. There we go. I actually supported this section, so it'll actually look nice. Now, start the curve. Wrong thing. Still wrong, still wrong. Here we go. So I think really this is all the kind of angle it's going to get. And then it'll kind of go straight back at that point. Cool. And let's use a staircase. I like to use these staircases for a couple reasons. Mainly because they have this kind of black part of the step that, you know, you would actually be walking on. And that gives just a nice little bit of color variation to my builds. Not bad, not bad. Now we can think of how we're going to connect it to the rest of the back cab area. And I'm thinking about doing it in a slope here. So we'll just kind of walk this up. Alright. Do the same on this side. And then I think, is there any way for me to put the staircase here? That good old staircase block. And we'll finish it up with, let's go with something good. Pretty standard, just orange cube will suffice. Alright. It's a fairly low profiled cabin. It's not that bad. It works. It's not bumpy or anything. You have to be mindful, by the way, on the weight of your creations. You don't want to make it too heavy, or else you won't be able to really do much with it. Now to decide this. So we'll put those there. We'll put our radio. I think right here in the middle between the two seats. And we can add just some visual buttons. Almost make like a console type thing. It's not going to be really hooked up to anything, but it just adds that little bit of detail that can be nice. Now we need to figure out a little bit more on the hood. Alright, let's use a block like this. Actually, no. Not like that. I wouldn't mind, maybe let's use some piping. Bring in some color to the front end here. And maybe we can run this pipe to different areas. And that might look cool. Let's grab the small section so I can actually do some fine tuning. And we'll just run this straight down. Probably take this to the underside. Now the reason I'm not putting this thing on the lift is that as soon as I take it off, it basically freaks out and flips on its back. So it's really not the best thing to do at the moment. And it really just has to do with the bearing and scissor lift function of it. Because when I pick something up, what it will do is adjust all the bearings to kind of a 0 degree, and then it will instantly try and fix itself as soon as you get rid of the lift. Alright, let's do that. And I need a floor. And you know, this might do. One, two, three. And we can do that over here. Not bad. Oh boy. Careful, I might make it too tall, and that wouldn't be good. 1, 2, 3. We need to put the orange slopes, and it's moving off the lift. That's not a good sign. Please stop. Okay, man. Sometimes the rotation tool just fights me a little bit. Or I'm just that silly and can't really tell which direction things are rotating. Let's get rid of that and that. Just gonna run this along the spine here. And does that meet the back wall? I believe it does. That kind of finishes up the undercarriage and engine. There we go. It looks a little bit more mean now. And proper. Kind of wish there was glass, but there's obviously no glass. Alright, now the last thing I want to do to the cab is bring across this section here. An attempt to do another center line here, but just might not work. We'll try this block, this I-beam holder. It can look cool in certain areas. Okay. And normal block. Not high enough. There we go. Alright, cabin has a floor. I don't know if I want to add a door. You know what? We have time. I'm going to add a door. That's going to be the last thing we do on this build. So I'm going to need a bearing. And we will attach the door, I think right there on each side. Actually, is that over the seat? Because if it is, we can't put it there. If that's the case, maybe a little rail that we can kind of raise and lower. I just got to find a spot for it. Don't really have anything. I might need to just make one here, and the best spot might be, I don't want to say, well, the decisions will match up to the back. I think that's okay. And throw the block cube in here. Seal it off. Make it flush. It's all about kind of making things flush and just look right. Really, the rule of cool always applies, and believability is always a huge factor. Okay, so for the doors, let's use... Now, I wouldn't mind a different color than orange. They're actually adding that spray gun for painting in the next update or so, so that'll be nice. Okay. And I can put this here just as an effect. What will that do? That's actually not going to do anything. That's just going to rotate in place, isn't it? It needs to be too tall to actually be effective. So maybe... Actually, yes, that'll work. I'm going to connect the hinge down here on this section. So this part will actually hinge out. Genius, I say. Genius. Alright, I need to grab the different guardrail. And I'm going to sneeze. Oh my goodness. That is the girliest sneeze in the world. Right there. Alright, we need to make this section actually rotate with it. So this upper beam can be placed and I have it rotate with it as well. And there. We got a little side cage. Just for, you know, keeping everyone safe and cozy inside. So that and that. Place you two. Like so. I'll be replacing that one as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab some switches. We'll put one there. Another one there. And I already have two control blocks, so I can actually already use them. So let's hook this up to the control block on this side. And we'll just tell it to, this is its neutral position. Otherwise, when it becomes toggled, it'll go towards the red at a 105-degree angle. And so we can hook this switch up to that control box, not the actual... Ooh, nice. And I'll actually go ahead and tie that to the passenger seat. So when the passenger gets in, he can actually control his door, which is pretty cool. And of course, when you leave, the seat kind of kicks you out the top. That's why we're not putting a ceiling on this, by the way, in case you're wondering. So drag this to this controller. It's going to go towards the blue 105 degrees when toggled. And toggle it to the switch. Test. Switch to the seat. Test. Alright. So I think that's going to do us in terms of adding detail and kind of mucking about in general. This is how I build things. This is how I build pretty much anything in any of the series. Pretty much just play around, have some fun, test different things in a couple different ways, because really, you're not always going to get the perfect look on the first try, and really you shouldn't expect to do so either. You really want to experiment and do a couple iterations, and in doing so, if I can actually get up there, that'd be great, and in doing so, you'll be able to each iteration might be better in some way or worse. Sometimes that does happen, but the better in some ways can be combined to kind of make the best of all. And so that's the best thing to do, in my opinion, for these things. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take this up to the base, because what we're going to be building next episode is a home for it. Because I do have one storage garage for vehicles right now, but it's not the best. It's small, it can only store one vehicle. I wouldn't mind actually making a maintenance kind of garage for some maintenance vehicles or utility vehicles in general. Let's drive in first person for a little bit because I think this looks so cool. And the side windows and everything. It handles really well for how top heavy it is because of the lift. And it goes at a decent speed. We might have to turn up the speed to get up the mountain. But I hope that's not the case. Alright, here we go. On the way up. On the way up. I'm also going to be building a monorail system at some point up here. And this is going to be a longer episode, so you guys get to listen to me ramble a little bit. Great. What else can I talk about? We can talk about my work day and how, you know, people are submitting things late and not meeting deadlines, causing me to work overtime to try and get things entered that they submit late and making excuses. And it's a whole lot of fun having a full-time job and then coming home and immediately trying to do something you enjoy, which is YouTube. Okay, this is way too slow. This cannot go up hills, like, at all. Let's see if we can't fix that. It's always nice to kind of maintain access to some of your engines, by the way, in your designs. Otherwise, you have to start taking sections off just to tweak things on the fly. Okay. I don't have a wheelie bar, so I don't really want to go full throttle right out the gate. What does this look like out here? Oh, that's really fast. That's probably too fast. But I want to get up here in a good enough speed so you guys can kind of enjoy the gate and everything. It is finished, by the way, now. I went ahead and did that since the first tour. And wow, this thing is too powerful for its own good at this point. Like, it's just doing wheelies. Let's not do that. I didn't think about adding a wheelie bar on it because really I didn't think it would be doing it anytime soon. But we need this up here so we can measure the door for the garage once we start building another one. Did I leave the gate open? No, it's closed, of course. I'll stop at the stop sign because that's what I'm supposed to do. Oh, get out. Now, the way you get inside, by the way, I set up this little side entrance. And it's a sliding door. Oh, I see. You don't want to work today? Okay, I'm getting out the hammer. Come on, get out of the way. This is the problem when you load worlds. The bearings like to break on things. Oh, no, I'm just gonna have to get a lift out and do this the old-fashioned way. I'll have to show you guys how to make a sliding door at some point. It's just a little too tight of a keyhole slot. And the door will get hung up on it sometimes. I need to fix that. Alright, let's head on in. The gate is open. We'll head on up. And now we're home. So yeah, I'm thinking about putting another garage kind of in this area to the left of the current one. And hopefully you guys get to see me work on that. Anyways, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching as always. you guys enjoyed the episode, feel free to subscribe to my channel for more creative goodness. And leave a like, leave a comment down below on what you want to see next. And I'm off to go fix this door. So, I'll see you around.